anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Get a behind-the-scenes look at the super steamy photo shoot for this week's HOTspots summer swimwear and underwear feature.
Today, on May 22nd, Queer News Tonight celebrates Harvey Milk Day to honor his legacy as the first openly gay man elected in California and his fight for the LGBTQ plus rights.
GLAAD's social media safety index shows major platforms, including YouTube and Meta, failing LGBTQ plus standards and numbers, with rising hate and content suppression.
Queer Planet on Peacock, narrated by Andrew Rannells, explores LGBTQ plus behaviors in nature with expert insights premiering June 6th.
The Supreme Court refuses to hear a challenge to Montgomery County's policy of not informing parents about transgender students' identities.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening television news broadcasting live and then available on demand. Available on all smart televisions, including Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. It's time to queer up the news for Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens, unique in LGBTQ plus news, you will see it and hear it.
HOTspots magazine Happening Out Television Network is a non-profit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for LGBTQ plus community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ plus community. We want to inform and educate the key issue of our queer culture, the Black community, Latino, lesbians and queer women, trans, student youth, seniors, HIV/AIDS healthcare, business, social justice, and faith. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, HOTspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network. In 2024, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ plus and broader community.
That's right, Ms. Builder. So let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. We'll begin by welcoming Corey Billions. Yeah, I love that name. What's up? Corey is a proud LGBTQ plus community member from West Palm Beach. He has served as a pharmacy tech for 10 years and currently works as a peer coordinator at Community Care Resource. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm good. Having a good time today. How are you?
Good. Good to see you, boo. And I'm about to steal that shirt. I'm just telling you, it looks like a blouse, so I'm stealing it. Next up, let's welcome the one, the only. She's Bonnie Builder. She's the premier South Florida bodybuilding drag queen and the current reigning Mixed Marys. A recent graduate of FIU, Bonnie Builder is a trainer and comes to life with a microphone and a wig. Bonnie Builder. Hypertension presents the Ultra Ball with audience participation, costume contest, sickening vendors, and Pokemon Rave on June 28th. Tell me what's happening.
You just said it. I'll see you all there, June 28th.
Well, there you go. All right. Next up, let's welcome anchor Dr. Tai Houser. He's a professor of English and Humanities at Broward College and teaches in the College of Business at Florida Atlantic University. He has served as a visiting professor at colleges in Bolivia, Brazil, China, India, and Spain, and provides an international viewpoint. Tai, NSU Art Museum Cafe and Store of Fort Lauderdale is hosting a When It Rains, We Pour this monsoon. Tell me what's happening.
So I'm so excited about this because, as you know, we're entering this season where every day at like 4 we get a rainstorm, right?
Yep.
So they're doing When It Rains, We Pour. Buy one glass of wine, get one free whenever it's raining in Fort Lauderdale.
Nice. Oh.
So all you have to do is show proof of your ticket for the museum. So go see some great art. They've got some great exhibits coming up, and if you happen to be there when it rains, go get yourself a glass or two of wine.
You would have this story. You would. Because you know that Ty has all those receipts in his pocket. Yep, I have it right here. Give me my other glass of wine right now.
I'm also getting my educator's discount.
Okay. AARP is coming up real soon, too, Ty. Get ready.
And of course, there's this bitch, tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She's a radio and television personality and is the host of the FayWhat Show, the first LGBTQ plus morning program, Mondays at 9 a.m. and then on demand on all streaming and social media platforms. She's also a hostess and MC for many South Florida events. Faye, you're hosting an important event organized by History Fort Lauderdale, Take Pride, a 100-year retrospective of LGBTQ plus milestones. It's on May 30th, so tell me, what's happening?
It's the official Stonewall Pride kickoff. The opening reception is May 30th at 6 p.m. So join us as we recognize our 2024 Take Pride honorees, and these folks are so freaking incredible. And many of them are anchors on Queer News Tonight. Robert Boo from the Pride Center, Misty Eyes of SunServe, she's an advocate, an activist, and a freaking gangster. Mark Gilbert from Outshine Film Festival, David Jobin from Our Fund, who is just an incredible human. Jacqueline Lorber, my favorite lesbian from South Florida Symphony. Josie Smith Malavai, you also know her as Chef Josie. She's being honored as well. The beautiful Miss Erica Norell, I call her Mother Fish. All right. Andy Rogow from Island City Stage. Kitty Meow, who's an icon and Happening Out alum as well. Steve O. Evans from, he's a media mogul from Outclick Magazine. And I will be your host, FayWhat. The exhibit runs till June 30th at Galleria Fort Lauderdale. Thanks to Visit Lauderdale, Broward County Cultural Division, Broward Arts Calendar, Goodman Public Relations, and of course, History Fort Lauderdale. Get your tickets today at historyfortlauderdale.org. We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Wednesday, May 22nd. Let's begin with breaking news. Broward County Monarch teachers return to work today after trans volleyball controversy. Monarch High School in Coconut Creek made national news last year when 3 staff members were removed from their positions after it was found that a transgender student was playing on the girls' volleyball team, a violation of Florida state law. James Cecil, the principal of Monarch High School in Coconut Creek, along with his assistant principal, Kenneth May, and athletic director, Dion Hester, returned to their duties at Monarch today after an investigation cleared them of any alleged wrongdoing.
I told you last month the Broward School District temporarily reassigned the principal and several other school officials at Monarch High in Coconut Creek after it was revealed a transgender girl played for the girls' volleyball team, a violation of state law. The situation remains under investigation, but the student's family sued the district and the state a few years ago, questioning the constitutionality of the law. The transgender student's mother issued a statement today thanking those who have shown love and support. Jessica Norton goes on to say her family's privacy and sense of safety were taken away and says there is a long history in this country of outing people against their will. She also asked everyone to give her family space to speak to their experience on their terms.
You know, if we remember correctly, this story happened right up the street from here, and it happened a couple months ago. And, you know, this beautiful girl was outed, right? She was out to her family. But she was not out at school. You know, this beautiful woman had, you know, she had already started, she had been playing volleyball in the same group for 2 years, right? She had started her transitional journey at 11 years old, all right? She was already taking blockers. She had her name changed and her gender changed on her birth certificate. Her parents did all the right things.
That's right.
Who didn't do the right things? The school didn't protect her. When they outed this girl, they're so lucky something didn't happen to her because they put a freaking target on that girl's back immediately. I am glad that these educators are back. We need good teachers. Ty, you can totally support that, you know, that notion. You know, and I can't believe that they were even away from work for all this time when, you know, students in Florida need good educators better than most places in this country. I'm glad that the parents are suing. All right?
That's right.
I'm really freaking glad that the parents are suing. Those parents should be parents of the freaking year. All right? They understand what their kid is going through. They're supporting their kid at every angle. You know, 10th grade, kids. Everybody remembers 10th grade. You're about to finish high school. You're about to go to junior prom. You're about to do, you know, get into JV.
Sorry, you remember 10th grade. Say that one more time. You remember 10th grade.
I remember 10th grade.
You remember 10th grade?
Vaguely.
It sure wasn't.
Vaguely. Okay, 10th grade is a monumental time in a kid's life, especially a girl. You want to be prom queen. You want to do all these wonderful things, and they halted her. They robbed her from that. You know, I'm glad that the parents are suing, and I hope that they get a shit ton of money.
Yeah. Well, the thing that bothers me about this story is they were cleared of any wrongdoing. What wrong could they have done? Like, they didn't, well, I don't know. I guess they're still in the investigation. But I don't think they forged anything on her behalf.
No, she was a girl since 2nd grade.
That's right. That's exactly right. And the fine was like a $16,500 fine. They were fined for every competition that she was in for the school. And then all the faculty and administrators had to go to compliance workshops. I mean, are we talking? This is.
I didn't know that.
Absolute crazy stuff.
Yeah.
She's gonna have a rough time her senior year, her junior year, moving forward.
Yes.
And it's just unfortunate that she has to be forced to live in this way.
And this sets a precedent for other educators that if you support trans students, that there will be consequences for it. They did treat this girl like a regular student. She wanted to play the sport. They let her play the sport. Since 2nd grade, I think she'd be fine competing with the other girls on that team. But this lets the other teachers know, like, oh, if I want to support the queer students, the students who aren't on the line, then there will be consequences for that. And that's the
time when it's
needed. And that's a problem, especially when your teacher is usually your safe space. Yeah. You know, we all had that. I remember, bitch, don't tell me, okay? And we all had that safe teacher. We all knew we were queer growing up. Come on, right? We just didn't know how far we can get to at that time, right? But I had my drama teacher, and I knew that I could be my true, authentic self in her classroom, right? That same drama teacher today would think twice before helping any of us.
Sad.
You know, that sucks. Next, let's queer up HOTspots magazine. Yes, give me some good loving right here. Show me some hot bods. Yes. Okay. Behind the scenes, a first look of swimsuit photo shoot for the new HOTspots mag. Summer may not officially be here, but the temperatures are already in the red hot here in South Florida. That means pool parties and hot boys, and HOTspots magazine has you covered in the newest issue with a special feature that used Fort Lauderdale's iconic Grand Resort and Spa as the backdrop for the photo shoot of swimwear and underwear, including brands like Rough Skin, Ethan Underwear, Jay Castell, I think Ty's wearing those right now, and a whole lot more. You'll definitely want to pick up the new issue to see the hottest new looks. And speaking of those looks, we're showing you exclusive behind-the-scenes footage of the photo shoot done by Queer News Tonight anchor Dale Stein, featuring models Phoenix Lenore, Allie, Jose, Kyle, Alberto, Tavarius, Carlos, and of course, the gorgeous Damian Lenore. You won't want to miss this feature of HOTspots magazine. See all these amazing pictures when you get your new issue when it hits stands tomorrow, this Thursday. And I am all about this. You know, the other day I texted Dale because I needed something. He's like, I'm busy. Right? He tells me that, right? It was never. And then he just takes like a quick picture and I'm like, oh, that's why you're busy. And when I asked him for behind the scenes shots, I was asking for more personal behind-the-scenes shots. But these are fantastic, and it gets me excited for that fact that summer's here.
Yeah.
You know, that pool parties are here, that all the boys are getting ready to be in their littlest Speedos ever, and I'm here for it.
And if you follow Miami Gay List, you know that Dale knows what he's doing when he's taking a picture.
Those pictures
yes. I've been in front of his camera a couple of times. He's a professional. Also, a lot of my friends are in that shoot, so I'm wondering where the fuck my text was. Definitely available. I definitely like going to the Grand, which I believe this is where it was shot, and I can definitely fit into those Speedos. Just check my Instagram at Bodybuilder, and I will show you.
I'm just saying. I have a feeling Bodybuilder is going to be on the next one.
I should be. Actually, this is going to be, I will say, with this being the cover, this is the second sexiest cover of HOTspots this year.
You look good.
Second to only my beautiful cover. the February Black History Month issue, where I was in and out of drag. The boys tried, but they could never.
You know, it's hysterical because her cover is beautiful. If you didn't see Bodybuilder's cover, it's all over her social media, so find it, right? So she went and
you gotta have something.
She went and picked up all the HOTspots that she could find anywhere. And like the following week, I saw the same HOTspots on stands. And I was like, what the F? Wait a minute, that was last week's. Nah, it's this week's too.
We're gonna repeat it.
I'm gonna see it next week too.
We love you, Bonnie. Pick up your new HOTspots, please, tomorrow.
Next, let's queer up the road to Stonewall. Queer News Tonight honors Trailblazer Harvey Milk. Harvey Milk became famous in 1977 when he was the first openly gay man elected to public office in the state of California. His outspoken and outrageous demeanor when running for office caused many in the LGBTQ plus community of San Francisco to resist his campaign. He persisted, leading the public fight against anti-LGBTQ plus initiatives. He won a position as city supervisor during his 11 months in office. He sponsored a bill that banned discrimination in public accommodations, housing, and employment of the basis of sexual orientation. The bill passed by a vote of 11-1 and was signed into law by Mayor George Moscone. The vote against the bill was cast by Dan White. After clashes with Milk and other city supervisors over a drug rehabilitation center, White resigned on November 10, 1978. And on November 27th, he would go on to assassinate both Harvey Milk and Mayor Moscone. Even after the assassination, White had the support of San Francisco police and was acquitted of first-degree murder. This led to the White Night riots, where the city's LGBTQ plus community burned down City Hall and lit several police cars on fire. These events are often considered the start of the modern LGBTQ plus rights movement in the U.S., and this is why every year we celebrate Harvey Milk Day on his birthday, today, May 22nd. Learn more on the life of LGBTQ plus icon Harvey Milk and how important his mission is today for the Harvey Milk Foundation at milkfoundation.com. There's very few icons that stand out, and Harvey Milk is a great one. He's on the political side. There's a lot of people talking and yelling in the background, but when you're actually in it, making changes on the laws and the initiatives and things like that, it's more important to have those people.
And one of the first ones to do it, right? I mean, we're talking about the 70s here. I'm gonna out myself as the oldest one on the screen right now.
That was obvious.
I was.
This tablecloth is blue.
But so I was born in the 70s, right? I don't remember this, but I was born. So we need to tell these stories so that we remember these stories. And, you know, obviously that's part of our mission here at Happening Out, is to tell our stories so that we remember our stories. And without being able to tell the story of Harvey Milk and how important he was and what happened in the 70s, that means that we're going to be in a better position to not repeat those problems, even though sometimes it seems like we are.
Yeah. You know, so I was at Diversity Honors a couple of months back, and, you know, the Harvey Milk Foundation and Stuart Milk are, you know, a huge proponent of that. And so I was able to interview Stuart for a couple of minutes, and I asked him, you know, I said, you know, well, what do you think that your uncle would think about all the strides that he missed out on, because he fought for these strides to happen, right? And so what he told me, he said, Faye, he did see all those open and out people living an authentic life, and he did see all those cities, states, and nations that would etch equality into their laws. For he would not have given his life without seeing and visualizing that dream of that day happening.
Wow.
Yeah.
People don't even talk like that anymore, right? I mean, it's like, wow, you know, this man was fighting for our rights, gave his freaking life for the rights that we have today.
Yeah.
And Sean Penn did a great job playing him.
Oh, Lord.
For those of my generation, we have to learn about Harvey Milk through media, through books, through movies. And I appreciate films like Milk that taught us so much about who this man was. We shan't get sick of learning about people of our past, because they really paved the way for our future. Yeah. So if you're young, please make it a point to learn a little bit of something about from the way back when, even if it's on TikTok.
Well, not that way back.
It was a while back. You didn't have color people. But yeah.
Is that a white joke?
Colored people.
I mean, it was a white man that killed this guy. So like,
Isn't that when America was great?
Bada bing, bada boom.
Oh.
Allegedly, right? Somebody send that to Trump. Okay. Next up, let's queer up technology. GLAAD report shows all social media platforms except TikTok fail LGBTQ plus safety. Yesterday, GLAAD released its 4th annual Social Media Safety Index, a report which surveys LGBTQ plus safety, privacy, and expression online. For the 3rd consecutive year, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, and the meta platforms of Facebook, Instagram, and Threads all failed the SMSI standards. TikTok, whose score increased by 10 points over last year, received a D+. The report shows a rising number of hate accounts and right-wing figures with large numbers of followers are major contributing factors. GLAAD's Senior Director of Social Media Safety, Jenny Olson, said in the press release, quote, "In addition to these egregious levels of inadequately moderated anti-LGBTQ hate and disinformation, we also see a corollary problem of over-moderation of legitimate LGBTQ expression, including wrongful takedowns of LGBTQ accounts and creators, shadow banning, and similar suppression of LGBTQ content. Meta's recent policy change limiting algorithmic eligibility of so-called political content, which the company partly defines as social topics that affect a group of people and or societies large, is especially concerning," end quote. You know, I got off Twitter as soon as Elon Musk decided that it was okay to be a fucking racist on social media and get away with it, right? You know, everybody saw the P. Diddy video that was out all over the place last week. And when I posted it on Facebook and called Puff Daddy a disgusting fucking human, I got flagged and taken down immediately. If I would have done that to a gay post, that would have not have happened. Here at Happening Out Television Network, I'm constantly posting things that have queer undertones, right? Stories, political stories, any kind of stories. And I'm taken down all the time on social media, not saying a bad word or anything, just because of the queer relevance to my posting. All right. So it's true. None of these social media platforms are protecting any of us, but we're using the F out of it every single day, and we're a slave to it.
I use Twitter for dick and butts mainly.
That I understand though.
Yeah, so it just makes it easy. I do have a TikTok. I was active on it until it just became disinteresting. But I do appreciate what the platform has provided for our community, which also means this makes sense why it's being targeted so much. Is that still a pending issue? Like
the China thing?
Yeah, TikTok has to be sold or else it has to be shut down. That seems very pointed. So for all the content that I've learned through TikTok about queer movement, queer rights, updates around the world, I really do appreciate the platform for what it's done. Platforms like Facebook, trauma, literally can't. Instagram is for business and news in the DMs. And again, Twitter's for dicks and butts. But like, kudos to TikTok. Thank you for what you're doing.
For getting a D+. Not even getting like a C. Good job, TikTok. You got a D+, motherfucker. Last time I checked. Okay, that is passing, but it's a D+.
My students beg for 10 points. They're not begging for a D+.
I know, right? So who got the A?
Nobody, Corey. That's my point. That means every Grindr. You know who got the A? Grindr got the A, all right? Because what they put out is what they do. What they do is what they
everyone puts out on there.
Exactly. I show my A on there, yeah.
That's under terms and agreement, I think. You have to sign that off when you...
They made that because of me, yeah.
I believe it. What's next, Bond?
Let's Corp education. Homosexuality is natural as Peacock presents Queer Planet nature documentary. A new feature documentary by Peacock narrated by Girls 5 Eva actor Andrew Rannells focuses on nature's queerness. In a statement, Rannells said, quote, "We've all heard of gay penguins, but this film really opened my eyes to the full spectrum of LGBTQ plus behaviors across the natural world. And what could be more natural than being who you are? I'm excited to be part of Queer Planet, especially during Pride Month. And on Peacock, surely the most colorful and glamorous of all the streaming services. Now, Queer Planet includes footage of flamingos to pansexual primates and sex-changing clownfish. It even explores the fauna realm with multi-gendered mushrooms. It features a wide variety of scientists and experts who are questioning the traditional concept of what's natural when it comes to sex and gender. Queer Planet premieres June 6th on Peacock.
Our planet is home to over 11 million species. The paparazzi really are everywhere.
Everything you were taught as a kid is wrong.
You make me wanna dance. Gay penguins, bisexual lions, sex-changing clownfish.
This is a queer planet.
Queerness has always existed. It's only in humans that we have such a stigma about it.
The idea of just having two fixed sexes is clearly out of style.
Mother Nature is pretty open-minded. Sex is not just for reproduction.
It's clear that no matter where you look on our planet, nature is full of queer surprises.
To be honest, we should all probably get laid a little more than we do.
Well, I will say, as a drag queen, I love the planet, but I do hate nature. So I'm glad I can watch this from the comfort of my air-conditioned home. This seems very topical, educational, and I'm ready to learn a lot from it.
Right? I know. I could hear Corey while we're watching the video. Corey's like, "I didn't learn that. That's messed up. They didn't teach me that."
No.
We got so much unlearning to do, right? Because of how they effed us up as kids, in school. Look, let me tell you, over 1,500 animal species engage in same-sex relations. All right, dolphins, lions, sheep, giraffe, elephants, black swans, insects, vultures, lizards, just to name a few. I don't understand why right-wing humans, yes, but can you just feel like the right wing, just their heads exploding, all the Trump lovers, just like seeing they're gonna put this on TV. Oh my God.
Because it goes against nature.
Because it's true.
It brings a whole new meaning to the term peacocking, I think. But also, when do you get to start a sentence with we've all heard of gay penguins?
We actually have.
And everybody nodded though.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we have. Actually,
There's some gay penguins that got married, didn't they?
I think you're right. They'll get a zoo or something. Yeah, probably.
Who got the kids?
Damn.
They're still fighting over the egg.
Right.
Next, let's queer up trans rights. Supreme Court refuses to hear challenge to pro-trans Maryland school policy. The U.S. Supreme Court declined on Monday to hear a bid backed by the conservative Christian legal group National Legal Foundation to challenge the Montgomery County Board of Education. They were hoping to overturn the district's policy against informing parents if their children identify as transgender or gender nonconforming. The justices turned away the three parents who brought forth the attempted appeal of the Montgomery County Court's ruling, holding that they lacked the necessary legal standing to challenge the policy. The policy directs school personnel to help transgender and gender nonconforming students create a plan that addresses their preferred pronouns, names, and bathrooms. And it also bars staff from informing parents of those plans without a student's consent. Well, I think this tells you the whole story, right? These parents are not affected by this in any way. Yeah. They have cisgender kids. They're very happy, middle of the road, disgusting people, and they just want to involve themselves in the lives of other people who, by the way, don't seem very concerned.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, and how about the kids' lives? That's who you're ruining in all of this,
right?
Right?
What it should be about.
Isn't that what we're always fighting for, the kids, when at the end of the day, you're not? I mean, outing a kid is never okay, especially when, for a lot of people, your safe space is school, right? Because you still haven't come out to your parents. They're usually the last ones, all right? There's exceptions to that rule. But for the most part, your parent knows, but, it takes you a little bit of time to come out to them, So for a teacher, for a kid to come up to a teacher and tell them, this is how I feel, this is what I'm questioning, and for the teacher to have to go and tell the parent.
Yeah.
It's icky, and no one thinks it's icky.
It is. It's totally icky, and you're bringing up a really good point about what the language of all of this is. It's all cloaked in that right-wing parental rights language. Yep. Nothing about kids, nothing about students' rights, nothing about it's turning the language around and making it say what it doesn't say. But interesting fact: the Fourth Circuit judge who wrote the ruling that they were trying to overturn was a Trump appointee.
Oh,
surprise! Are we?
I know, totally surprised. Totally surprised.
Tai, what's next?
As part of HOTspots happening out, it's our goal to support our community. We offer amazing trips around the world that help raise funds for charity. We invite you to join us on October 8th, 2024, as we experience life under the Tuscan sun with our Italy hub and spoke trip. Spend 15 days in the heart of Tuscany from just $17.99. Find out more at happeningout.travel/Italy.
As a nonprofit LGBTQ+ media organization, we would like to thank our viewers for support of our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We also thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ+ community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world needs more pizza? Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza, Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out television studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
We finished tonight's Queer News headlines with a segment we call LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News.
LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News, let's queer up sports. Bridgerton's John Bailey raises thousands for LGBTQ plus charity by running a marathon. The famous Hackney Half Marathon in London saw more than 20,000 runners participate this past weekend. One of those runners was openly gay actor Jonathan Bailey, who is known for his role in Bridgerton and his upcoming role in Heartstoppers. He's raised more than £30,000 for the charity known as Just Like Us. The group runs an ambassador program for queer youth that helps them learn how to raise LGBTQ plus awareness in schools and enact programs to stop the bullying of their fellow queer students. We need programs like this. There's too much bullying going on.
Yeah, if Jonathan Bailey wants to raise something else, I've got an idea.
Yeah. Raising 30,000 plus pounds in 4 hours? That's it?
Right.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I could raise 20 pounds after this pizza. LGBTQ plus 1 Minute News. Let's queer up health. Peru sees protests after government decree labels transgender as mental illness. On Friday, during International Day Against Homophobia, protesters gathered in the Peruvian capital of Lima to demand the government repeal a decree that characterizes 7 genders and transgender identities as, quote, mental illnesses. Gahela Kari, a transgender woman who unsuccessfully ran for Congress in 2021, said that, quote, being gay, lesbian, non-binary, or bisexual is not a disease. It is a human condition, end quote. And I agree with her. Being queer has been amongst us since the dawn of time, so I doubt it is a mental illness. Yeah. I think your ignorance is a mental illness.
Well, it's sad because, we were Peru a couple of years ago, right, Tai? Mm-hmm. Because, it was being queer was considered a mental illness here, and not too long ago, up until not too long ago. Right. And so just seeing this story, Bonnie, also worries me because, we're going backwards in a lot of ways. So it kind of shows what our future might be able to look like if the evangelicals get their way.
Yeah, I'm just a little hesitant about the word condition. It's not a bad word, but it also has the ring of health issues, right? But I understand the thrust of what she's saying.
I think it's just unfortunate that a lot of these politicians are peeking their heads in people's homes like, what I do behind closed doors does not affect you that much.
And who I do and how many people I do isn't none of your business. Between me and my husband.
I'd like to know.
Come on in.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up the worldview. Albanian lesbians married in religious rite to challenge legal ban of same-sex unions. Albania recently saw its first same-sex union as Alba Almurtav and Adir Amara were married in a religious ceremony in a challenge to the country's laws. The Albanian family code defines marriage as between a man and a woman. Mara argued on her Facebook that the family code violates Article 53 of Albania's constitution, which states that, quote, everyone has the right to marry and have a family, end quote. And Mara, you are absolutely right. But I can't stop envisioning hot Albanian lesbians.
I thought they were all virgins.
Oh.
No.
And,
ooh. I say congratulations. The more love out there, the better the world is.
That's right. And the best way to fight hate is with love. And they gonna make love all night, I bet.
I'm envisioning it right now. I'm envisioning it right now.
No longer
now we have a wet spot on the chairs. LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up the world view. 10 police officers arrested in Argentina after transgender woman murdered. Argentinian authorities have arrested 10 police officers and charged them with hate crime charges in connection with the murder of transgender woman Sofia Fernandez. The legal investigation uncovered not only entrenched institutional violence, but also the ongoing struggle against impunity for hate crimes. According to prosecuting lawyer Ignacio Fernandez, the indictment not only charges the 3 officers who committed the murder, quote, but also the cover-up and falsification of documents by 7 other police officers, end quote. I think America should follow suit, which is criminalizing criminal actions, even from our authority figures, including police officers. If they do something that's clearly hateful, racist, homophobic, xenophobic, transphobic, they should be penalized for that and not let off with a fucking free paid vacation.
Yeah, and by penalized, I mean hung by their penis. That's what those people deserve for killing that incredible soul.
LGBTQ plus 1 minute news. Let's queer up the worldview. Turkey's president blames Eurovision for declining birth rates. Turkey's President Erdogan has blamed the Eurovision Song Contest, you heard me right, the Eurovision Song Contest for the country's declining birth rates, accusing it of allegedly encouraging gender neutralization and threatening the traditional family. In a speech following a cabinet meeting, the president called participants of the contest Trojan horses of social corruption. He said he's worked to keep Turkey out of the contest since 2012. Well, I'm sad that Turkey can't be a part of the contest, but when you have a failed economy and declining support, what do? You go after the gays.
Yeah, of course. This was the first year that I saw the Eurovision Song Contest, and I got to tell you, it is the gayest thing I have ever seen in life. Hashtag Nemo, we love you.
That's right. I watched a little bit of the programming, and now I can't give birth, so he may be onto something. I don't know what happened down there, but I just can't produce babies anymore.
Well, this is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community in the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share the news with your friends and family. Are you, like most Americans, part of our very large television audience, watching this live LGBTQ plus news broadcast right now on Roku, Apple TV, Android TV, and Amazon Fire TV?
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of HOTspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, FayWhat? And on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Corey Billions, Bonnie Builder, and Dr. Tai Houser. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. And to our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you good night.
Have a good night.